Hey, how you doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Good, thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. I
No
really
worries.
appreciate it this morning. I know it must be busy there for you in Edinburgh. Your morning off. How it how is tell me a little bit about your journey in Edinburgh. How things are going for you?
It's been going well actually. I can't believe that we're now like about to enter the final week of it after this weekend.
Mm,
It's just one of those things where it's kind of like because you're doing it every day, you just have to treat every day like a brand new one. You know, if you have a really good show, then that's just for one day. You can celebrate for a couple of hours and then it's like refresh the page, back to square one. Equally, if you have a show that's not so good, you can kind of move on from it quickly too. Um,
I found it definitely when I've been to Edinburgh, a place where you have to live in the moment. You've got no
mm,
choice because it's so fast paced. But then there are moments also that stick and linger with you. And for me, your show was one of those moments that stuck with me.
oh,
Your show was my exit show. Was I saw your show,
your
and then I
swan
had to.
song.
And then I had to leave to go home, but I left on such a high. So
Oh, great.
I was really grateful for this moment to have this conversation with you to be able to say thank you for that. That because not always with these things do you get to leave on such a high,
Oh,
and it was such a joyous and wonderful show.
oh, thank you. That's so nice. I'm so glad I'm so glad you had such a nice feeling after it. That's so nice that it stayed with you.
Yeah, well, I think for you, Will, it was the first time I've discovered your comedy, and I think with you're such a likable personality comedian. The audience can't help but warm to you. How do you feel when you're in that space with everyone?
I love it. I think it's definitely something that's come out of me doing like hour-long shows, longer shows, is trying to create the kind of community, affable vibe. Um, like I'd say my comedy has become more kind of conversational in style from doing it. Um, I definitely think it's important with the kind of live aspect of it to feel like you're in that one room with those specific people at that specific time, um, both for myself and the audience.
Yeah, I love that. I think it was the engagement that you had with people. Sometimes when I've been in stand-up rooms, I've often felt a little bit of anxiety when that engagement
Mm.
happens. A little bit of
Yeah.
like, oh no, I'm gonna hide. Whereas when I was in your room, I was like, oh, Will, come and chat to me next. Let's have a chat. I'd like to be your friend, Will.
Oh, that's so nice. Yeah, I definitely hope people think it's just like fun to chat. Something that's quite fun that happens is I'm trying to think if it happened in the one that you came to actually. People will begin to interact with each other a little bit in the room,
Hmm.
which I don't overly encourage, but I do kind of like that
Of course, you're the
the
you're the
atm
star.
well, of course. But I do like that the atmosphere is such that people kind of like begin to cross-pollinate a bit, and like that for me is a success because it feels then like wow, we're really all in a live thing together. Um, I like the specificity of that.
Mm. So at this halfway point, then,
Yeah,
um,
over halfway.
we're over halfway. You're doing every single night.
Yeah, so I had a day off earlier in the week, but yeah, now I'm every
But
night till
yeah,
the end. Yeah.
that's hardcore. So what? Tell me a little bit about that experience then of just being at the Edinburgh Fringe Festival.
I think it's like it's a really strange experience because obviously just like every day at around for me, 'cause my show's at 8:30, so I for me about maybe like 6:30, like you just begin to get this sort of spike of adrenaline,
Mm.
which really then peaks obviously just before you go on stage, and it's just in a kind of like physical sense, it's quite a weird way to live, to every
Hmm.
day have such a huge expenditure of energy at like 8:30 p.m. Um, and the days just feel so long, I think, because of that, because you can kind of have a whole normal day before it when you've got an evening show, and then you go to your
Hmm.
show and it's like, oh my God, here's this is the most important hour of the day here. And then obviously after the show you're on a high, so it's that you're not like I'm going to go straight to bed because I've got adrenaline coursing through me. So the days will become really quite long. But I think it's one of those things where once when you're in it, you're in it, and then when you come home,
Mhm.
you're like, oh my God, my body is broken.
And what
Um,
type of things are you doing with the days? Are you experiencing the festival? Are you experiencing
yeah,
other shows?
definitely. I
Hmm.
love going to other shows. I think that's really important because it helps you, from a personal perspective, it helps you get out of your head. I also think it's really helpful to see, to remind yourself what it's like to be an audience member, like
Hmm.
seeing something you've never seen before, or someone you've never seen before. And as an audience, like you're always, I mean, I'd say generally, unless they're kind of a drunk, rowdy group that didn't really want to come in the first place, but
Hmm.
generally an audience is like with you until you make them feel like they shouldn't be, if you know what I mean.
Hmm.
So actually, like, you're feeling nervous if everything's going right, if there's any mistakes or whatever. Um, but for an audience, they don't. It's like that thing of a kind of it's like tip of the iceberg. They see only the top of what's going on, and you're working hard for
Of
them to feel
course.
like they're having a good, relaxed experience. And so I think it's good to watch other
Hmm.
people's shows and be reminded of that position. And also
Hmm.
just great to watch other people's stuff because so many people have worked so hard um, and have really great and interesting shows. Um,
What's a
and
big takeaway that you've had then from when you're seeing these other shows and you've been in the space? What's something that you've learned so far from it?
I think conviction in what you're doing, because I see other people's things and it's so different to what I'm doing and I love it. And there's so much appetite for um, there to be a range and like it's such a
Mm.
broad industry and I think that's inherent. That's never going to stop. So you shouldn't feel like there's a place for everyone to do the thing they want to do kind of thing. Also, um, I think it's really lovely to like kind of what you were describing of when you go to someone's show, you're drawn in by them over the hour and it's a different experience spending an hour with a person. Um,
Mhm.
and so trusting your instincts of how you're going to bring an audience in for that time. And I love seeing the different ways that like, yeah, you come away from some people being like, oh, I really like them, they're great, what a great personality, or like some really good writing. Other people are like, that was, I feel really uneasy, but they did that on purpose and that was great, whatever.
Mhm.
um there's so many different approaches, but I guess, yeah, just having conviction in the one that you choose for yourself.
So I wonder then for you how you're going to channel that conviction moving forward, and if you have any hopes for this next half of your journey at the Fringe.
I think it's just to keep this is so like cliche, to keep having fun, keep having fun. um but I think the point of like especially a stand-up show is an hour of fun, and for me anyway, and with my show. So I think I'd have to make sure that I don't get bogged down in anything and that I can deliver that fun feeling for an audience when they come along.
Mhm.
It's that, again, it's that thing of like so much work goes, it's kind of crazy to work so hard on something that's ultimately just like a bit of a laugh for the people that you're delivering it to, but that's the nature of this. I've chosen to do this job, so that is the nature of it. um, and so yeah, it's that kind of thing of like just remembering that people are coming in with little to no impression and want to have a good time,
Mhm.
and that lies with me.
So, Will, that brings me on to a deeper, harder question for you then.
Okay. Oh God.
So why the hell do we do this? Why do we put ourselves in this space in the Edinburgh Fringe? Why do we put ourselves there out into the world?
Um, I think because it's dare I say it's fulfilling, I think like it actually is when a show goes well, it's such a
Mhm.
great feeling and it's I mean there's loads of reasons. Also just doing your show every day is such a brilliant way to like improve and to learn and blah blah blah. And it's just a great way to like bring something to a wider audience and to
Mhm.
come across new people and um yeah, yeah, obviously the worst thing about it is that it's so expensive because it's a great kind of training ground, but when it costs that much, it's hard to approach it like that. You want to feel like you're delivering a really polished product that's going to get you rich and famous, kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think it just is fulfilling every day, and the feeling of like people taking a chance on stuff. That's an atmosphere that you don't get in many other places,
No.
and people coming deliberately to see and try things out and make discoveries. That's I feel like that's still very strong in the culture of Fringe.
Mm.
Um, and it's harder to do that in other places. In London, people will go to something they know well because there's so much choice. But I feel like, yeah, here people want to take a risk and are open-minded and open-hearted.
Hmm. Do you know
Yeah.
what I like about you, Will? Is you seem to care so much about the audience. You have this throughout this conversation, wherever we're going, it's the audience seem to come first with you.
Yeah. I think the reason I feel like that is because otherwise I'll care too much about myself.
Is it?
I'm outrunning my narcissistic traits by doing that for sure.
Is he trying to escape the ego somewhat and
Yeah,
try?
yeah, I'm trying to achieve ego death. Um, I think yeah, but also I just think, again, it's like I just think that's the nature of the form. Like, you're delivering it to an audience. It's one that relies inherently on a response from an audience. So you have to think about them because um they're part of it. It's like an energy exchange. It's not just I can't just do what I want and get nothing back. So yeah, I think it's not. I think it's I'm thinking about them from my perspective of what I'm doing. Like I want to do the best of what I'm doing, and some people won't like that, but
Mhm.
some people will, and I want to
Mm.
make sure that they get the best version of it if they can.
Do you know what I love having about these conversations I have on this podcast, on this platform, is that it often challenges my own perspective and things I think I learned and understood. Someone like
Mm.
you comes along and twists that for me.
Oh,
And
that's
so
fine.
for early on in this journey, something that helped me at one stage was someone said to me, the audience comes last. In everything you
Right.
do, forget about the audience. Don't consider them at all. Just do your thing and ignore them. And I think that helped me in the beginning. That helped
Mm.
me with some kind of like stopped me from over analyzing what I'm doing too much.
Mm.
That I tried to find a place of authenticity and trying to be natural with this.
Mm.
But I think with what you're saying is that we need to have that shared connection and that shared love to be
Mm.
able to move forward, don't we?
Yeah, I definitely think it's about shared connection. God, that's so beautiful. I'm gonna cry. Um,
And it's so early in the morning for
I
stuff like that.
know, I
What's
know,
going on?
I know. Who knew it? This soon I'd be realizing a universal truth. Yeah, I think it is about though, yeah, like the shared experience. But I also think it's true that you shouldn't like I said before, have conviction in what you're doing and not change everything according to an audience and be aware that different audiences respond differently. And there is such a thing as a bad audience, I think. Um, but just make sure that just be aware of the people that are there. And I think also because I say that because I think before I had an impression of the kind of audience I wanted in terms of like the profile of an audience, like age or
Mhm.
background or like sexuality, maybe whatever. Um, and actually, like me and my friend were talking about this the other day. All you need is an open eyes, open heart. And if I have that
Yeah.
as well, we'll connect. And like I think I've people of all different ages and backgrounds and whatever have come to my show and enjoyed it.
Mm.
And people who I think would be like exactly my target audience have come and not enjoyed it. So it's just to do with whoever you click in with, I think, and you can't
Yeah, and
overanalyze it.
that's really important with like the marketing and things as well, isn't it?
Mm,
And trying to yeah, you're trying to say before the people coming, this is who I want here in this space. This is who will
yeah,
get this.
yeah,
And for me, I wouldn't be your target audience,
yeah, yeah.
and some of the things you talk about might not resonate with me.
Mm,
And I was saying that to my daughter actually after I saw your show. And
mm,
she said exactly the same thing. For an audience, it's about being open,
yeah.
coming in with those open eyes.
Yeah, and that's why I always think as well, like, in terms of marketing, I think it's so important to market something in terms of tone more than it is in
Hmm.
terms of like the story or the identity of the person doing it. I mean, it depends on the thing, I guess, but for me, I
Hmm.
feel like, especially with the comedy, like the tone of my comedy is the thing that I want to get across to people to come, rather than being like, you'll like this if you're a gay guy in your 20s. Because
And
I think, because
but then you'll also like it if you're a straight guy in your 40s.
exactly, exactly, and
Yeah.
that's because that's to do with the actual content rather than
Mm.
the where it's coming from and the feeling and whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's wonderful that you've been able to bridge those gaps as well.
Thank you.
There's points for a lot of us, there's big walls up
Yeah.
in society, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
There's big walls, and I feel
Yeah.
like you're one of those people that are knocking those walls down, Will.
Wow, thank you. That's amazing. I'm a political hero.
Well, I look forward to where things are going for you next. I look forward to, now that I've discovered you, I
Yeah.
look forward to seeing what's next for Will. So, can you give me a little insight? Can you tell me a little bit about your hopes and dreams for the future?
My hopes and dreams. Yeah, well, for the immediate future, this is I think this show will have a little, we'll take it to some other places, hopefully. And then I think I'm just gonna keep building up the stand-up. Like I mean, dare I say now, it's the 15th of August when time of talking. So
Hmm.
um, I don't know, but I think I probably will come back to the Fringe unless something truly traumatic happens
Possibly.
in the next 10 days.
Mhm,
Um, but yeah, I would love to kind of build an audience of my own and be able to tour with that. Um,
mhm.
and then obviously also I'd love to kind of have like my own show, be on Strictly, things like
Yeah.
that. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think yeah, I'd like to just have an audience and then follow the things that are interesting to me and take them with
Mm.
me.
Well, that sounds
Yeah,
like
that's
an
the aim.
exciting journey ahead of you, Will. Like
Thank
I
you.
say, I look forward to seeing what happens next for you.
Thanks.
So I know you're in the Fringe, so I don't want to keep you for too long. I'd love
Right.
to catch up with you in the future, and
Yeah, for sure.
find out about those next steps for you. So yeah, carry on doing what you're doing at the Fringe. Enjoy your time,
Thank you.
and yeah, thank you again for sharing.
Thanks so
And
much.
if anyone has been watching or listening to this conversation, we appreciate you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, Will. Good luck with the rest of the
Thanks,
Fringe.
cheers.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.